All right, ladies, welcome to the Post Studios. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, I'm Jessie Vera-Tucker. My husband's Alijah Vera-Tucker on the O-line for the Jets.
And I'm Maranda Williams, and my husband is Quinnen Williams with the defensive tackle of the New York Jets.
Amazing. Well, we are here today because of the new Amazon series, The Home Team, New York Jets, and we are so excited to sit down with these ladies right here because they are the backbone of the men on the field. When they come home, I wrote this quote down from Quinnen in the first episode. It's a summary, but he basically said, after playing elite, you got to come home and you got to be an elite dad and you got to be an elite husband. So you guys are the ones that deal with the on and off the field and all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Can you talk to me a little bit about how that's really impacted your lives? You all in the series talk about how it's not a normal life, it's not a normal job, and the things that go on, and you handle it with such grace. A lot of you. Sometimes I was like, I would literally punch this man right now. Like, talk to me about that and how it's kind of impacted your lives.
Yeah, I feel like, the transition to becoming a mom, it's definitely a whole nother ball game. Like now I'm like, okay, he's in training camp and I'm in my own version of camp because it's just stay-at-home mom all day long, solo parenting. But it's really like when season comes around, we know like, okay, we're both locking in, like I'm taking care of everything at home so he can solely focus on the fields and football. So it's just that transition that we see happening each time season hits.
I can agree by a long shot with that. I will say that I feel like once football season does start, we immediately put on like all of these different color hats, right? You have to wear that mom role hat. You have to be a good wife still. Me on the side, I have a business, so I have to put that hat on and, just every other hat that you can probably think of it, to make sure that our men are as successful as they can be, on and off the field.
Absolutely. And what I also thought separated this show apart from a bunch of other shows that we see following teams and players and lives, of course, was that, and again, you can't predict how the season is going to go, but in this particular season that followed you guys, you were pregnant. At one point you were like, I hope he's here for the birth. And I'm like thinking to myself, because I'm in stages of life similar, not pregnant, by the way. But, life is going on. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't even imagine the thought of doing that by myself.
Yeah.
At all. He made it, right?
Yeah, for the birth.
I love it. But like I was saying, what separates this show apart from the rest is that, again, you can't predict the season that you chronicle, right? But this season in particular, the Jets had high hopes. The defense was rocking. And things happen, right? And it ends up being, off the rails a little bit with the record, whatever. How do you guys support your men and have these cameras around at the same time when it's not always as happy or we're not always winning? That's why I like that the cameras followed you guys, because it showed the real hard season that a player could go through with his family.
Yeah, I think for us, we really just kept in mind why we signed up, which is we want to show the real behind, being a professional athlete. And for us, I would have been interested myself to learn what it's like to have a partner who's pregnant and gonna give birth and what that looks like. And I think it's so unpredictable, and that's really interesting. So it was hard at times to film when you didn't want to, but it was more important to share the story. I debated sharing leaving the hospital, but I was like, you know what, I think this is cool for people to see, and maybe they didn't know that this is what it really looks like.
And I do think the cameras did highlight that aspect of players are also humans too at home. There are also fathers, sons, just all of the many roles that they have to put on too once they get off the field. And the cameras will be able to, really dig in and be able to explain and show how it is heartbreaking sometimes if you are not winning, but you want to win, right? But then, when you come home, it's like, all right, cool, they got to roll down my back and I got to be the next thing, because you still have roles to fulfill. So I really enjoyed this process too as well. I got to learn some things myself about my husband in the process.
Can you guys share maybe some things that you have learned?
Well, one thing I learned that he kind of has a little, he had his little temper tantrums, but I never got to see that. He does have a little potty mouth. Yeah, on the field. Yeah, to be clear, on the field. Yeah. He has a little potty mouth, but in a way, it showed me like, okay, you explain to me you're passionate, but like me seeing how upset it would make you, like when you guys are not like winning how you want to win, that showed me like a lot about him. Like I never knew he could get that upset, because I only see happy him for the most part, right? Like when he's home, he's silly, he's goofy, we play, we laugh, and to see that was like a major eye opener for me. I was just like, wow, like you are an animal. So,
hey, that's why he's at the Pro Bowl. That's why he's everywhere, right? I love that.
Thank you.
That's really fun to know. Thank you for sharing that. What about you? Was there anything that you took away from the experience in particular?
Well, Alijah can be more of a quiet guy.
Yeah.
So, after a hard game or just like things that I know he doesn't want to talk about, I usually wouldn't push to ask more or see what's going on, And through this experience, it was like, we needed to hear that, you have to talk about it. So I kind of got to know on a deeper level what was really going on and what he was thinking and how he was feeling. And not that I don't normally care, it's just like, I know as his wife, like he needs this time to process and just video game it out, something like that. But this was cool to just talk more. And he really did open up, I think, through the show.
I really love that. That makes me so happy that you guys benefited from this so much in different ways, even within your relationships. Like you said, the different things that you learned. And now that you had such a great experience coming out on the other side, beginning of it, when you're approached with this idea, I guess, if you're able to say, did you guys sit down and you were like, what is this? What are we doing? How much access are we giving? Like, it's a human conversation, right? That you have to have. How did that kind of go within your family dynamics?
At first, it was a little scary to think about, okay, do we open up ourselves and our lives to this? And it really just came down to trusting really Amazon, this team, and the producers, that what they were saying was true, that it's just more of a docu-series and telling the truth and not provoking any kind of story or hidden agenda.
Sure.
And I think that really comes through. Like, it's really just telling what goes on behind the scenes and more of a inner look at these guys' lives.
Yeah, we definitely had to have that conversation on, making sure it wasn't more reality based, because we're like, we don't want to be something we're not, But then when they explained the documentary side, it was like, okay, this is very like heartfelt and genuine. This is something that down the line our kids will be able to look back at and just say like, man, like, Mom, you're a hero, or Dad, like, you played that game well, or something like that. So they'll get to see what it's like, because right now they don't really understand. Like, they're too young to understand like what's really going on.
I love some of the parts, just to pull out a few things. I loved when he was helping you with your packages for your clothing line. I love that. I think that's so awesome, the way he supports you. And he was saying something like, this better take off.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. I was like, yes, 88, let's go.
Yes, thank you.
I love that. When did you start that?
So I started the dream a long time ago. I have changed the name a million times, I will say, but like, it's like, I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna keep making changes until I really get like that. All right, this is good. This is it. Let's keep it rolling here. And I do feel like I'm at that point with the name. It's finally something universal and not Miranda's this, know, so. But to your point, like, I do love his support and being around, because like I tell him like, hey, I support you every single day you wake up and go out here and be this football player on the field. So like when you come home, like, like that's his time to be able to support me and cheer me on. So I really do appreciate those moments. He's like, after a long day of work, he's like, I'm gonna go help her do some packages. So
I love that. That was such a cool moment, and nice to see those raw, real moments. And high school sweethearts, you guys are.
Yes.
I mean, you've been on a journey, girl. You've been holding it
Seen it all
for a hot minute.
Journey.
I mean, how has it progressed for you? You know what I mean?
Well, really, like, we had gone through college together doing long distance, and I, in my mind, kind of like, oh, he's going to do a 5th year in college and maybe go into broadcasting. That was kind of his interest at the time. And then his junior year of college, we were at a tailgate, and his mom was like, agents are starting to talk to me. You guys need to talk about this and, think about things. And I had no idea that that was like a possibility or going to come up. And then from there, we met with agents together, we met with advisors together, we went through that process all together, and it's really special to get to this point and have a family now.
I love that. That's so special. And I love watching you guys also learn, because at one point you were like, I didn't even know what a draft was.
Yeah.
I was crying. You were like, I thought you sign up. Like,
Like, you just put in the application, right?
Could you imagine, like, oh, Mom, I'm just filling out the application to go to the draft today, like, throw it right in. I was cracking up. I really thought that you guys were amazing, genuine,
Thank you.
so cool to watch your family dynamic, and none of it was ever like, and you guys are in New York, and you guys have been here for a couple years, so, and none of it was like, oh, New York or anything. Like, it was all real, and we appreciate that, because as the world dives more into the WAG world, I don't know if you guys like that term or not. Some people love it, some people hate it. They like to know, and we appreciate you pulling back the curtain and opening the door for us to check it out, because as somebody who works at the Post, those New York fans love their teams, and they need to know what's going on.
Right.
But lastly, before we wrap it up, going back to the WAG community and different things like that, each team that I've learned is supporting the women in different ways, and the families and the resources that they give them. How important has that community been for you guys, Jets specific, since you guys have been around for a few years?
Yeah, I think the community of wives, and even through the team, like this year there's, I see that extra effort to try and make activities and just do things, even offering childcare, which is amazing, like, so that we can be a part of things and build that community, because I think more and more as each year goes on, they see that that's really the foundation, like your spouse and, supporting you, it all starts there.
I definitely think the community of the WAGs in our term.
We don't even need to say it. Should we just be like the wives?
No,
tell me what's cool.
It's more positive. It's more positive now. Like, maybe if you would ask me in the beginning, I would have been like,
agreed.
Don't use that. But
agreed.
Yeah, it's more positive now. But that's a short term. We love quick stuff. LOL, WAGs, all that. So I do think the community is very important, because like some days, like I'm pretty sure like me and Jessie will be pretty much doing the same thing because our husbands are gone for a away game, or like they're both going through training camp right now, so they're gone like several hours out of the day. So if I can easily text her and say, hey, want to get together and watch this film, or let's go for a brunch, it's like I know that we can relate. Like, she may be frustrated or going through some things, like, being solo parents, and so it's like having that girlfriend to be able to text, and they're kind of available, right? Because it's like the guys are gone, it's easy to get together, and it's like a sisterhood, really.
Right, like she's not answering. Like, answer your phone. I know you're free right now.
Come on,
they're
the
on the
guys
field.
are gone.
That's amazing. And is there anything else that you hope that fans will take away from this show and them seeing your lives and your family up close and personal?
I just hope, people really enjoy watching this. I was kind of nervous the whole time through filming. I'm like, we're really just on the couch. Like, you sure?
Yeah.
But I think it just gives a real look, and I hope people, enjoy hearing these guys' stories and a little more about their lives, and hopefully want to continue to follow their journey in the NFL.
That's right.
That was really good. I definitely was. That she hit it all. But to her point, like, again, like, to just realize that, even when you see these guys out on the field performing on Sundays with their little temper tantrums, I would say my husband, on his own, he's still a great human being off the field, or they all are, and they play a lot of roles. So sometimes, give them grace. Like, they're trying just as hard as you want them to win. So.
I love that. And lastly, too, give these ladies grace, not just them, everybody. We gotta be kind and support you guys in all that you do, because you guys have your own businesses and identities, and we never want that to get lost in the sauce, as they say. Is that what the kids say? All right, let's wrap it up.